Hello, this is the movie review, and today we'll be talking about Gbemi the movie, a Mount Zion movie production. Gbemi was originally written by Emanuela Gbemisola New Ebwoma. If you are yet to read the novel, you should. Although Gbemi the movie is an adaptation of Gbemi the novel, the story of Gbemisola Johnson. The movie did not capture everything in the novel actually, but the storyline was not lost though. A little twists and turns here and there. The movie duration is about 1 hour, 36 minutes and 10 seconds. Gbemisola, played by Emanuela Gbemisola, is a young Christian lady doing great in her career, but seems to be having a little bit of delay maritally. She had a strange relationship with her father, among many things. The first scene introduced us to the life of Gbemisola as a part-time fashion designer. Her friend Favor had come visiting. Gbemi woke with a shout of Jesus that morning and started praying according to Favor. Favor believes she's running away from men despite all her prayers. She advises her to give men a chance. She is a good friend. She wants the very best for Gbemi, though she could be too forward and too extra. She initiated the friendship between Gbenga and Gbemi.
They're your neighbor.
Hello, Gbemi.
Hi.
Nice meeting you.
So I understand he's been here for like 3 months, and for some reasons you guys have been playing hide and seek.
Gbenga is a neighbor Gbemi has had for 3 months and never interacted with. It had to take Favor's visit for them to become friends. Gbenga, played by Feyinfolu Okedare, appeared spiritual, thoughtful, creative, friendly, and divine as he kept showing up in Gbemi's face. It was all in disguise. John, played by Femi Adebile, the latecomer, vision carrier, purpose-driven, man of faith, man of fire. Debbie, on the other hand, played by Darasimi Lawrence Oyo ni Gbemisola. On the other hand, is a movie addict, childish but realistic.
Thank you. What are you doing?
I'm watching my favorite Telemundo TV series, Red Roses. Do you know that Roberto and Juliana are finally getting married?
Oh, that's great. Wonderful. Hope they have gone to the marriage committee for further counseling.
What?
Yes, so advise them to do that, because that is the only condition they are going to allow them to conduct their wedding in this church.
Debbie obviously wanted a soft life, the baby girl life. She's born again, alright, but she does not want stress. She seems uninterested in John's vision. She wanted a man, but not the vision. She's very realistic. She wanted to see and understand what she's getting herself involved in. John could afford to observe his morning devotion till 1 p.m. while Debbie would rather be watching Telemundo series. They were very far from each other, not connecting. John is excited about going into full-time ministry, but all Debbie was concerned about was the finance and survivor. In comes the epic breakup, after which John vows never to cry over a woman. God does not forsake me, he says. He had to eat to cover up. Meanwhile, the next scene had him not just crying, but wailing. Even with the intervention of his friends, he still felt sick. Back to the 3 aspects of the life of Gbemisola Johnson. First is her career life. Gbemi had a boss who is a chronic womanizer. He wanted to travel on an official trip with her, of which Gbemi knew was a setup. She opened up to Gbenga about how she finds it difficult to accept or turn down the offer, as she does not want to lose her job. It was a major crossroad. Along the line, Favor introduced her to John's Bible study group, Favor Again, where she was able to gather strength to stand up to her boss. It was a tough one, but she knew she could not compromise her faith because she wanted to keep her job. Not Gbemi typing gibberish on her laptop after turning in her resignation letter, and gave her boss some outlines about how he should be contented with his wife. Her boss came out, finds how she's typing gibberish for the second time. It concludes she must be high. He rejected her resignation letter. Eager to share the news with Gbenga, she got a breakfast served quite hot. Apparently, Gbenga is married with a kid. It was a major betrayal for someone who was just coming to terms with having a man in her life.
Mommy, there's a lady at the door.
Good evening, ma. My name is Gbemisola. I'm looking for Gbenga following show. I'm so sorry. You must be his sister. It's so nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you. Good evening, ma.
There's no one bearing Gbenga Folorensho in this house. My husband's name is Felix Folorensho, and I am Mrs. Jumoke Folorensho.
That leads to the second aspect of the life of Gbemisola Johnson, which is her family life. Gbemi is traumatized, bruised, wounded, and raped by her own father at age 8. Her father was a drunkard who would beat up her mom and pounce on her. She nursed bitterness against her father and all men for a long time. It was at John's Bible study group that she gathered strength again. She learned she had to let go and let God. She learned forgiveness. It was tough, but she forgave. And we are talking about favor again because she gave John Gbemi's number. Bestie indeed. With Gbemi's story, John saw her as a perfect candidate for the speaking engagement he had with teenagers. So the third aspect of the life of Gbemisola Johnson is her marital life. You cannot be single in peace. Every radio station will conspire against you until you decide to carry go like Gbemi and switch to edifying gospel music. Otherwise, you will just find yourself in a mushy God when corner. This brings us to Mommy Gbemi, typical African mom, concerned about our unmarried daughter. Every unmarried young lady can relate, especially when her younger sister is getting married. So she introduces her to this poet whose words were not captivating enough to enchant Gbemi. Typical of an African mom.
This invisible line will bring me close to you. The answer is simple. It is because the line has been drawn by nature, drawn by distance, drawn by circumstances of life, my lady, my dear. So let us erase, let us eliminate this line once and for all. I mean forever, face to face, without barrier. Now, to answer your question, it is I, Kunle Alfred. I am on the line. Thank you.
Gbemi understood patience and waiting on God. While praying about Gbenga, God was silent, yet she was patient. She did not rush it, and eventually she dodged a bullet. Relate this to John too. He also waited on God. He even said he's sitting in the living room of God watching TV, LED TV. But I can't but talk about this brother John's way of asking if Gbemi is in a relationship. And then boom, it went. You, I want to marry.
You.
Excuse me?
Yes, you.
Is this?
A proposal. You, I want to marry.
In a classroom, not even on a proper date. Who does that? She had to walk out. At the end of the day, he wanted a prayer of deliverance. John is quite a lover boy in a brotherly attire though. But please, brother John, work on your pronoun.
The foundation of this proposal is destroyed. What can the righteous do?
What are we going to do?
We? I don't like your pronoun. Brother John, you need to work on your pronoun.
And then the background music, while his friends were talking to him, was just perfect. John messed up the proposal and wanted to make up with prayers. His friends had to cut him short. We never knew Gbemi could turn out so dramatic. Her response style was unexpected. John was speechless. He just had to. Can we share the grace?
Can we share the grace?
Gbemi the movie was directed by Gbemisola Grace, screenplay and also produced by Gbemisola Grace. The music and sound was by Joshua Gbemisola. I Will Be There is on the Heaven album by Joshua Gbemisola. Gbemi is a beautiful movie, great acting, and message centered on forgiveness, patience, and faith. It is a must-see movie. Thank you for joining us. Till we meet next time. This is Movie Review. Bye.